Hello there, you join me at an undisclosed location somewhere in Istria, Croatia, and though it may look glamorous, especially with the pool behind me, I can assure you it's very cold because it's the middle of January and we haven't been in the pool, even though it's at our disposal because it's not heated. Anyway, I'm jumping on camera to talk about shunning, an aspect of shunning which I haven't really talked about yet because it hasn't been that big of a deal for me, but it's something that's now happened enough for me to think, maybe this is worth talking about, and maybe this is something that other people have experienced as well. I'm talking about shunagrams. That's what I'm calling them. Witnesses coming to you, to your house, to shun you, or knowing when they come to your house that they will need to shun you or treat you as though you're not there. Because it's one thing for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses when we go out to the shops, perhaps, we're walking around the store. I'm sure many of you will have been in this situation, and you make eye contact with a Jehovah's Witness who knows you're disfellowshipped, and they do that thing where they blank you. They recognize that you're there, but they immediately start pretending that you're not there. And it's extremely inappropriate and juvenile behavior, quite frankly. This is the stuff kids do in playgrounds, isn't it? But that's normal behavior for Jehovah's Witnesses. And it's one thing for them to do that when you're at a neutral location or when you're in a place that's public and you just happen to have encountered each other. Apologies because of the wind and my hair. I'm actually going for a haircut today, so I'm on it. I realise my hair is out of control. It's one thing for Jehovah's Witnesses to treat you that way accidentally and without planning it. It's another thing for them to come to your house for some reason, knowing that there's a strong likelihood that they will encounter you, and to pull that sort of behaviour anyway. They're coming to you and shunning you at your home, and your home is supposed to be your sanctuary, your safe place, where you don't have to put up with that sort of treatment or that sort of behaviour. It's now happened to me twice, and the most recent occasion was a couple of days ago, which is what's prompting this video. So perhaps I should explain, and I apologise if there's wind noise. Maybe there isn't, I don't know. I'll find out in the edit. Perhaps I should take you through the first time it happened. I'm not completely sure how long ago it was. I'm thinking maybe a couple of years ago, and I didn't mention it on the channel because I'm not completely thrilled with the way I dealt with the situation, if I'm honest. I'm not very proud of the way I reacted, albeit I was reacting on the spur of the moment, having just been subjected to some dehumanizing treatment on my own property. So what happened was, we obviously live in the same building as my Jehovah's Witness in-laws, or we lived, I should say. Our home is currently in an earthquake zone, which is why we're here in Istria. So under normal circumstances, we would be living in the top half of the building. My in-laws would be living in the bottom half. And on one occasion, I came downstairs and I came outside. I think it must have been either to go to the bunker, or maybe it was pre-bunker, and I was going to get some wood for the fire. I can't remember the reason, but in any case, I was coming outside, down the steps outside our house, and at that precise moment, a guy walked round the corner so that he had to come up the steps past me, and it was a Jehovah's Witness who was visiting my in-laws, and he knew who I was. And we made eye contact. It all happened obviously in split seconds, but we made eye contact and I smiled at him. All I did, I didn't say hello, I just smiled. And he blanked me. So someone's smiling at you and it's their house and you're blanking them and pretending they're not there. And you're at their house. So I was absolutely furious, and I realise many of you don't see me angry. It's not a side of myself that I tend to put on YouTube. And to be fair, those who know me will know that I don't get angry all that often. But I was angry on this particular occasion. I went inside. By this point, this guy had sat down in the living room of my in-laws, and in my broken Croatian I communicated to this person how inappropriate their behaviour was. So I think I said, as I recall, ne trebaš priče, ne treba pričeš, you don't have to speak, ali kad ti u moj kuć, when you're at my home, smile. You don't have to say anything. We don't have to talk. We don't have to socialise. But you're in my house, or you're in the house where I live. All I expect in return is a smile. And he was absolutely... because I realised I'm quite a tall guy and he was seated, I was standing. He probably felt very intimidated, and he was like that. He had the expression or the deportment of a rabbit trapped in the headlights. And so we left it there. I walked out. Needless to say, that entire exchange then got spun completely out of context by my in-laws, who complained that I'd attacked their guest, which clearly didn't happen. I simply confronted them about their behaviour. There was no laying on of hands, there was no roughing up or anything. It was just me being very angry at someone who'd come to my house and was treating me with disrespect. So that was the first shunagram. And again, I've not spoken about it on the channel before, but now I have, because it's happened twice now. Albeit the second time, which was again a couple of days ago, wasn't as severe, but nevertheless it was completely inappropriate and uncalled for. So we're now at this place in inland Istria, Croatia, in the middle of nowhere, and we arrived here 2 or 3 days ago. I can't remember. I'm losing track of time with all of this dodging earthquakes. And myself, Diana's mother, and our 2 children had gone out to get some supplies, and we'd left Diana's father at home here with our dog. So we returned, and we turned the corner, because you have to drive down country lanes, and so we turned the corner into the little sort of road where this property is, and there was a car outside our house with a little trailer on it, and Diana's father was speaking to them, and we were like, who's this? Who could this be? Is it the owner? We didn't think the owner drove that car. This is all very odd. So in any case, they had to move slightly so that I could get my car into the house. It was obvious from the way Vinko was acting with them that this was someone that was known to him. And when Diana's mother got out of the car, her reaction, was one of, oh, these must be close family friends. These must be relatives who are visiting. Fantastic. So I waved. Again, all of this happening it's all of a bit of a blur now, but I distinctly remember waving and getting no reaction. If you visit someone's house and you're outside the house in your car and one of them is waving, you surely know about it. Anyway, I didn't get any reaction. And then it clicked. These are Jehovah's Witnesses. And they're here to see my in-laws. So there's 6 of us here in total. Me, Deanna, our 2 children, Julia and Jessica, and my in-laws. They're here to see 2 of us, but not the other 4. So it was happening again. They had come to our home knowing that this would be the situation, knowing that it was a divided family, knowing that they would have to treat the majority of us as though we don't exist, but they'd come anyway. And immediately I was panicking a little bit, thinking, how has this happened? Because it turned out there'd been some phone calls, and these individuals, I'm not going to name them, but these individuals had gone to quite some lengths to locate where we were and to come to where we're staying. And that's unnerving as someone who's doing what I'm doing. It's unnerving, and has received legal threats in the past that representatives of this organisation might be hunting me and my family down when we're on the run from a natural disaster. It's unsettling. I'm not going to lie. It turned out that this was unsanctioned behaviour. It's actually going against everything that the organisation's been saying for witnesses to do this, because what's the point of holding Zoom meetings and for elders to be doing Zoom shepherding visits if it's suddenly okay for witnesses to visit each other in person, so long as they stay in the car and so long as they're wearing masks, which is what these people were doing. There's been no direction about doing that, and I spoke to Mark O'Donnell, because he keeps a closer eye than I do on what all the chat is, what all the correspondence is, and he was saying, no, if witnesses are dropping off aid or food or whatever, they're doing it as quickly and as stealthily as possible to avoid any contact. That's the direction. Here's this carful, well, I say carful, there were 3 people in the car outside our property insisting on giving Deanna's parents aid, even though they had repeatedly said, we're okay, we're being taken care of. Perhaps you can see this isn't a bad place to be staying. It's not the Ritz. It's not the most fabulous place we could pick, but it's actually not bad at all. It's quite comfortable compared to where we were staying, even compared to our home. So Deanna's parents are being very well cared for, have everything they could possibly need, and even communicated this to the individual who came. But the individual who came was absolutely adamant that she would come anyway, and she would leave some groceries and some clothes. So it was all very strange, and I was very, very annoyed at the dehumanizing way in which I was treated, because again, they knew I was there, they surely saw me waving. They were only interested in communicating and being friendly to 2 people in our family. And they came knowing that this would be the situation, just so they would have the satisfaction of saying, oh, we dropped some food and some clothes that weren't really needed. We had a shunagram. We had another shunagram. It's happened twice now. So I just wanted to document this. And I'm actually interested to know whether anyone else has experienced this. If you could let me know in the comments, has this happened to you? Perhaps you're in a divided family. Perhaps your husband or wife is a witness, but you're not. And perhaps you've had witnesses call at your house knowing you would be there, knowing they would encounter you, and they've still treated you in an unkind way, or they've refused to reciprocate your kindness. I'd be interested to know in the comments. But yes, I wanted to share that. As regards the earthquake, just a quick word on that. The quakes are continuing. We're not completely sure yet what we're going to do or how long we're going to be away from home for. It's possible that I've recorded my last bunker video already, which is a very, to quote Toni Morris, it's a very sobering thought. Seriously, it is. All my books are back there, and I spent a long time crafting that bunker into what it is, the perfect place to make my videos, and now I'm having to consider the possibility that I might need to start from scratch somewhere else. It's all very disturbing, but we'll figure something out. It's early days, and I will keep you all updated. I will be returning to the bunker in the next couple of days to try and retrieve some things, and I'm going to document that, so expect a video, expect another update in the coming days. But that's all I have to share with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos, and as always, thank you for watching.